Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to take a look at one of the classic creatures from The Empire Strikes Back, the Tauntaun. Now this is a great toy and one that I had great fun playing with as a child. And it came in two versions. When it was first released back in 1980, it came as a solid belly version. As you can see here, this is an original release version of the Tauntaun. It's made out of grey plastic, it has moving legs and it has moving arms. It also has a detachable set of reins that the rider can hold and some little moulded plastic legs on a seat for the rider to sit in. And if we look at his belly, you can see this one has a solid belly. But if we look at this guy here, who's a second issue version of the Tauntaun, and we'll turn him over, you can see that he's got a rubberized belly section that splits open so that you can put Luke inside him. Now there are a couple of sort of subtle variations to these toys, apart from the obvious being the split belly. If we turn these two over, you can see that the saddle on the original version has a much thinner strap. The second release with the split belly, the strap has been widened, so if you want to collect these, make sure that the original one has a thinner strap to it. Now one of the great features of this Tauntaun is obviously the flip open little panel on the top that enables you to put any character into the saddle. The legs are moulded sort of in a little bit of a little bit of fur or something onto the saddle, so when you slot a figure in, their legs disappear and it just looks like they have whatever the legs are on the side of the saddle there. This is the same feature that they used on the dewback and has later been used on other toy lines. If you look at LJN's larger monster sort of creature figures, these have exactly the same feature on them so that you can slot any character in to the saddle. Now with the second release you have the addition of the open belly, and this was to enable you to put a figure inside it, just like when Han rescues Luke and places him inside the Tauntaun. Now I was always a little bit disappointed with this feature because really no matter how you jam the figure in, you couldn't actually get that much of him in. You could get the legs in, as you can see here, and that's about it. Because of the way the Tauntaun is designed, there really isn't that much space inside it, so you're always left with a figure half sitting out. I always found this a little bit disappointing. What I really wanted to do was to push the figure right inside, so maybe just a head or an arm was sticking out, but really you just couldn't do that. It was a nice idea, but I don't think it actually worked that well. Now if you're going to collect Tauntauns, there's one thing that you do need to be aware of, and that's the fact that the plastic and rubber that's used for the saddles and the reins tends to get a little bit sort of brittle over time, and more often than not you'll find that these buckles have snapped. As you can see here, this is one from my collection where it's been on display for quite a long time and the plastic is just starting to perish, and there is a little join there which tends to split. This happens on the reins as well. It's an easy thing to fix. You can just put a little bit of super glue and glue it, but they do tend to come apart over time. It's just the way these things were designed. They're more often than not they will have broken like this. Tauntauns were one of only a handful of creatures created for the Star Wars toy line, and they're probably one of my favourite of the lot. They have enough features that they make them quite good to play with, and they're sturdy and strong enough that you can really give them quite a good battering and play with them in the garden, and nothing much is going to break on them. They're just a really nicely designed toy. You can pick up Tauntauns for not a great deal of money. I think I've paid no more than £3 for any of these Tauntauns. Even the ones with the reins have cost me that little. You can find them loose very easily without any of the bits for a couple of quid, and finding them with the bits is slightly harder, but really if you look around you can pick them up pretty cheaply. eBay prices at the moment are quite crazy, so I would avoid that, but there are plenty of other places to find them. I found one of these in a local sort of second-hand toy shop, and that cost me £3 including a figure, so they really are pretty easy to find. But they're certainly worth having in your collection. Originally I only wanted one, but over the years I've picked up a few and I've kept them all because it's quite nice to have a few of them on display with different figures inside them. I just think they look pretty nice. So I hope this review has been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter and Facebook.